Nice to see you again, Tony.
It's always good, brother.
Last time was in Amsterdam, and probably many followers and friends of mine have seen my interview with you. And I'm glad that we can arrange this again and follow up and update what's going on with R-Link and why you're still in this industry, and especially R-Link.
For sure, man. Yeah, I think a lot of advancement since our last meetup in the Netherlands. So it's definitely exciting with what's going on right now in the blockchain space overall and the cryptocurrency space, but certainly with R-Link, there's a lot of really good things going on as well.
What has been happening since last time we spoke in May, and what has been going on? The R-Link tokens are alive on
They're alive, yeah. So we haven't really actively, been driving any trading or anything like that, but just the market itself has kind of come in, and there's a little bit of volume here and there, 5-10 grand a day. We went live. We've been a couple months ago on Uniswap, and I day one somebody was trading it. I don't know who, but there was like $1 million that went in, but it wasn't from any of our folks. So I guess some people got wind that the token was going live, and then we've just come out of beta on the platform, and so there's a lot more buzz going around, people that are wanting to get their hands on the platform and use it. We've been very controlled about the growth of the platform just to make sure we had enough customer service, just to handle an influx of clients. And there's just, for me, I probably mentioned on our first interview, but it was like, in business, I've always kind of looked at different niches where I could carve out volume, and market share. And a lot of times, I look to sell out to the big guys. And I've done that, in the restaurant delivery space. We had built an Inc. 500 company that was kind of like Uber Eats or DoorDash or Just Eat throughout Europe. There's a lot of other companies that do food delivery, if you're hungry and you want them to bring it to you. But we never planned on beating Uber Eats or DoorDash. At that time, when we started the company in 2016, Uber was like a $60 billion company. And so it's kind of always, let's build in cities that they're not. And they were in LA, they were in New York, they were in Miami, they weren't in Dallas, Texas. So let's go into Dallas, let's go into Wichita, Kansas, Des Moines, Iowa, Ottawa, Canada, Toronto area, and so we'd get into cities they weren't. And then they made offers for us, and we ended up selling out. It was a really good deal. This is a little different because on paper, I think our projects are actually favored against something like Zoom, which is kind of, as a traditional entrepreneur, it's kind of crazy for me to say, just at face value, until you start to dig in and you go, wow, it does make sense. Like, they're a $20 billion market cap, $21-22 billion a year market cap. They're 300 million users a day, which is massive. Almost 300,000 enterprise users. And so you go, man, they're going to be tough to compete with. However, if you look at blockchain technology and you understand that just a few months ago, Zoom kind of got caught updating their policies and procedures, and they were sharing everyone's data with their AI. And, the big shareholders of Zoom, there's a lot of Chinese companies that have a big stake in Zoom. And so I think people were concerned, like, after the AI has all our data, where does it go? Is it monetized? Is it being sold? And so, I think if you were upset with that, your alternative is Google and, Google Meet, Microsoft Teams, which they're better at taking our data than about anybody. And so I felt like, as society, if you could have a choice to use a platform that you knew your data was out there and some big corporation had control of it, or you could use a blockchain-based platform like R-Link, lives on the Rally blockchain, where each user is an owner. Each user owns their own data. And eventually we'll have an option. The community wants people to have an option to share their data if they want to and earn income, basically get paid in digital rewards, cryptocurrency, to share their data. And so Zoom is never going to do that. They're never going to allow us to own it just because we're using it and sharing it with others. And so that aspect alone, I thought, that gives us an advantage from a presentation standpoint, being able to call to action. If I want to share a website with somebody, typically on Zoom, I've got to type a message in the chat, which I can do that. But I'd rather have call to action buttons where I can say, hey, just click the R-Link home button and it'll take you to our website. What's cool is if you're watching this recording, that's a live button, like that's hot on our link. I don't know, on the YouTube it won't be, but if I share my link with somebody and I go, hey, just click the link, watch the video, this button will be hot and you'll be able to record with it. You can go into slideshows without having to stop, share my PowerPoint, share screen. Like I can load slides and just go through the show. Like I don't have to wait for video, as an example. I don't have to wait and go, let me share my screen. Let me change my audio setting to computer versus microphone. Let me get a YouTube video that I want to show up and I'll wait 5 seconds and I'll skip the ad and then we'll watch the video. Here, I can just fire into a video.
Do you ever wish you'd played a part in a tech revolution?
I don't have to wait to share screen, change audio. So I look at the platform and I'm going, presenting is easier and better. There's more bells and whistles. The fact that I'm cheaper than Zoom, and you can go into the plans. Actually, if I pull up the plans through this medium, you can scroll up and down if you want, friends, and basically like you can go from annual to monthly. You can look at the highest package we have. It's $50 a month. If you pay annually, it's less. It's $500 a year. You get like 2 months free, so a little over $41. My enterprise package with Zoom, I had 3 rooms, so I could have 3 people doing meetings at the same time, up to 1,000 people per room, so up to 1,000 people per meeting, and it was $327 every month. So 3,900 and change for a year in US dollars. I can for 500 a year. So I can save $3,400 a year at our highest package. I've got 5 rooms with up to, and you can scroll up and down or whatever, you can kind of see the different highlights of it, but it's up to 3,000 people per meeting, 5 rooms. I've got about 20 times the storage. I'm saving $3,400 a year. It's a no-brainer. And so I think for the first time as an entrepreneur in my career, I can go head-to-head with multi-billion-dollar companies, and I'm actually favored to beat them. That doesn't mean, I'm not saying I'm going to beat Zoom or Google Meet, but if you have a choice to own your data or have it owned by a corporation, I don't know many of us that are going to choose to let a corporation control all our data. If you have a choice to pay less and save money and get more bells and whistles, more usability, I don't know any of us that won't choose to have more usability. And then if you have the option to get rewarded, like I can earn rewards just for using the platform. I can earn cryptocurrency just for sharing the platform with others. I think every one of us will choose to have those rewards, to have the data, to have the ability to share the platform with others and gain more rewards. I think it's a no-brainer. And so that's the exciting thing for us really, is we're coming out of that beta and now allowing users to start becoming customers and sharing the platform with others. So it's certainly exciting times right now.
It is really exciting times, and I'm only using R-Link when I'm doing meetings with my personal coach, and when I
Nice.
showed him this, he was also blown away. And also he talked to another coach who lives in Bahamas, and I had 1 hour meeting with him about R-Link, and he was like, "This is a no-brainer." When I read about Zoom or Teams that they were collecting data for the AI, He was
Yep.
like, I need to change as soon as
Sure.
possible. I need to change.
Sure.
And very good guy with great connections, and probably he will talk about it like I'm doing, because it's a
Sure.
great product. And if I use it daily and I know people that need their that data secured, I'm gonna use Allink.
For sure. Makes sense.
So this is two aspects. You can invest, but you can also use the product. But if you use the product and you see how it works, I want to invest in that project.
Sure.
So
I have a lot of node owners that are coming on after using the platform. Like they didn't understand there were nodes available, and obviously for people that are new into the crypto or the blockchain space, a node is I look at it. One of the best analogies was like a cell phone tower for like Verizon or AT&T or Vodafone if you're in Europe, or O2 or whatever, and if you have land that Vodafone calls you and says, hey, we want to build a tower on a piece of your land. They don't buy your farm or your ranch or what. They lease a little piece of land and they send you money, like they give you a check every month for hosting the Vodafone network on your land. And a node, similar like with Bitcoin, they have mining nodes where if you run a Bitcoin miner, it's called a Bitcoin mining node. It runs the Bitcoin network, and you can earn Bitcoin for hosting the network on your computer, your Bitcoin miner. We have software-based nodes, which is cool because Bitcoin mining is so expensive. We can run one of our nodes for about the price of a light bulb that it costs to run a light bulb. And you can run it on your own laptop, or you could run it in the cloud. I have a lot of nodes that I run in the cloud, and it just helps to manage our network. When I'm doing this meeting, when I'm paying for the software, when I'm using my tokens, when I'm sharing with others, that's all tracked on the blockchain. The revenue that comes in is all tracked on the blockchain. So there's full transparency. You can see what's happening. And if one of your nodes is helping us operate, you earn tokens. Right now, it's around 3,000 tokens a day for every node owner. We call it proof of participation. In Bitcoin mining, if your computer doesn't do the actual transaction, the first confirmation on a transaction, you don't get the reward. In our platform, if your node is turned on for 6 hours or more a day, you share evenly with every other node owner. So we call it proof of participation. For us, it's not necessarily as important that your node did the actual work. We need to understand, do we have access to that computer power? And if we know we do, we can scale up accordingly. And so having more node owners on helps us scale. And so we can share that distribution every single day with the node owners. And then obviously the users can earn the cryptocurrency rewards, the digital rewards for just using the platform, for sharing it with others. And then certainly there's, I'd say, kind of the speculators from the crypto world that will buy the token from Uniswap. Eventually, I think we'll end up on exchanges as we grow, but they'll have the opportunity to buy the token from the node owners or people that are using it. I just do both, right? Like I use it and share it with others, and I'm a node owner, so I try and get as many tokens as I can.
what's the big difference compared to just buy the tokens on the market and buy a node?
Sure. Yeah, for me, I do both as well. I have people that, for whatever reason, they need to pay their bills. They have tokens. I think the tokens are undervalued. So I do a lot of peer-to-peer transactions where I'm like, hey, I'll buy your tokens from you. And that's fine. The reason I prefer my nodes over the tokens, I guess the best analogy I've probably heard is the chicken or the egg. And it's not what came first. It's if you're hungry and you go to the store and you buy eggs, so you buy a dozen eggs, after a few days, if you eat them all, you got to go back and buy more eggs. But if you have chickens that are out in a coop, and you've got farmland or whatever, and they're laying eggs every day, you go pick up the eggs, you eat breakfast. The next day, there's more eggs, you eat breakfast. And so the nodes are kind of like the chickens. They generate tokens every day, and you don't really need to go to the store to get eggs. Certainly you can, but if you have a bunch of chickens, there's not really a need to go buy eggs. They just kind of create eggs for you. And so the nodes are generating tokens on a daily basis. So I really like that. And again, not that you can't just go buy the tokens, but I'd like something that's producing the tokens a little bit more.
Are they gonna get some revenue or some extra income from if someone is buying stuff inside Rlink, the programs or whatever? Is it
the
something
node
like that?
owners run all the transactions. And so there are transaction fees that will go in through the node network. The node rewards go through the node network. So the tokens are distributed out, but the more users, the more fees go in. So if we drop an NFT as an example, so let's say we give 1,000 users an NFT that gives them free months of the highest level service. So those NFTs are worth, let's say, $50 each. It's 1 month worth of the highest level service. And once it hits your wallet, to use it, to move it in and actually transfer it in native tokens, let's say it costs maybe $1 for them to move it. Well, they're saving, $50 for the monthly service. So it's like a $49 spread for them in US, or be close to 49 euro, whatnot. So that dollar fee goes through the node network. So if 1,000 users had an NFT drop, that's $1,000. What if we dropped it on 1 million users? What if we dropped it on 10 million users? So they're getting a free NFT, but when they move it into their wallet and use it, that native token, it's being paid out through the entire node network. And so certainly there's a lot of upside as revenue is generated for the node owners. And then a lot of the NFTs that drop, some of them will drop exclusively to node owners. So you'll end up being a node owner, getting an NFT. Maybe that NFT is worth $50. You could end up selling that NFT to somebody. Maybe it's worth $1,000, maybe it's worth $100,000. I know one of our last projects, somebody paid a little over $1 million for one of the NFTs, which I'm not big on the NFT side and developing it. I know this: if there's an NFT that has a ton of value, I'm interested in it. If it's just like a painting or something, probably not as interested in it, but like a digital painting. But if it gives me ownership, if it allows me to use something, if it allows me to share something, I'm interested. And so being a node owner has a lot of perks, I'd say, that are involved with that.
And all the revenue, like if you pay 10, 20 or $49 here, I don't know the exact amount, but how much percentage of that will go into buying the token on the market? Because that, when I realized that and understood that fully, it's like there's also mind-blowing realization.
It is.
Yeah.
And so we're just coming out of beta right now. About half goes into the market, and it goes in a couple different ways. What we do is, if we sell $1 million, we can put, let's say, 500,000 through the market. About 70% of that, so 350,000, let's say, can go into what we call creating liquidity pools. It just helps to, hey, if you want to have Bitcoin and buy the Rally token, you can use Bitcoin through that liquidity pool. If you have Ethereum, if you have Solana, if you have USDT or USDC or the Euro, digital Euro, whatever, we'll end up creating the community, or we'll pick the liquidity pools they want to create. And then the other 30%, so maybe 150,000, let's say, can go into buy side and just start buying the tokens. The community can determine to do that, especially if they think the token is undervalued. The community is the one that makes the rules on where that revenue flows. As we generate more revenue, we will scale up. The more users we have, the cheaper it becomes to operate. And so I do believe within the next several months, 100% of the revenue will go through that liquidity pool and buy side. Eventually, if things go well, you get to a point. Our last project was doing $4 billion a day in trading volume. The community at that point could say, hey, listen, we don't need to create liquidity pools anymore. Let's just go in and buy the token, all of it. Like, just go buy the token if we think it's undervalued. But there's so much liquidity at $4 billion a day or whatnot. If it gets up to like one of our last projects did, it's like, all right, we don't need to use anything for liquidity at that point. We just come in and buy tokens if we feel like they're undervalued. And again, the community controls that. They can vote on that, which I love. I love the fact that we are a decentralized network, that the fact that the community owns the platform and decides what we want to do with the excess revenue, what we want to do with the platform, what bells and whistles. We're adding constantly more use case, more bells and whistles to the platform every day.
When do you think this will happen? Is it 2 months, 6 months, or 7 months, or?
It's really tough to say. I think, obviously the market's really strong right now and growing. But for our project, I'm not really concerned about crypto or blockchain or the rewards. My focus really, and I'm just a community member. I have no ownership, but I've built some big companies. And my goal, and some of our other folks who are part of the community, all of our goal is to get as many people using this platform instead of the Zooms of the world or the Googles or the Microsofts. And if we have millions of customers paying even the lowest $10 a month, and we'll have the free trial launching soon, so people could literally just try it for free. But if they like it and they come in on even the lowest level, the value of that token could be very substantial. I mean, I do foresee us adding a lot of users very quickly. And if you can use the token to pay for your platform software through our ecosystem, if you could use the token to buy food, if you could use the token to take a ride like an Uber, that token gets more and more valuable. And I believe the marketplace will reflect that value. And again, I can never guarantee anything, but I can tell you our last project, the market cap reached 40 billion, a little over $40 billion, which is probably ridiculous. I don't think it belonged that high. There were days where its market cap was higher than Tesla's, which again, I think that was crazy, but that's irrelevant. The fact is, whether it is that high is what's relevant. And if you're holding the token and the market cap hits 40 billion and you've got $4 billion a day trading and you want to sell off your token, you're going to be able to sell your token. Like, the market cap is what it is. And again, I think all markets are irrational from an economic standpoint. That was kind of what I studied in school, was finance and economics. And certainly all markets eventually at some point are irrational. But cryptocurrency, blockchain markets are uber irrational. Like, they're extremely irrational. And I don't think they'll be that way forever. But for now, I think it's amazing opportunity for us that are early into different projects on blockchain, especially projects that are creating real world utility. Something like this. I think historically blockchain projects, they're selling some ICO. Here's their idea, and it's not real. They're building it, or maybe they're not even trying to build it. But the vast majority of those projects never come to fruition. They never get over the hump. I think most of them never plan on coming to fruition. So they just, it's a pump and dump. They're just trying to rug pull. And what I love about our projects is they're real. There's millions of dollars behind these projects. We've invested, my family, $53 million into these projects. And so, it's funny, but like if we tried to rug pull and we said, well, I'm going to sell all my tokens and make $20 million or $30 million, I still lost 23 million on the product. Like, I can't sell like that. I have to wait until there's so much revenue driving the project and everybody in the world is a part of the project or understands there's value in the project. There's just massive people around the world. Then I win. And that means everyone else is a winner as well. And so I think that's so different for blockchain and cryptocurrencies, where you have real products, real services, real users generating real revenue, and you've made it seamless. So someone like my mom uses this platform. She doesn't understand blockchain. She doesn't know what a MetaMask wallet is. She doesn't know how to bridge a token to an ERC20 chain or the Binance chain. She just knows that, hey, this is cheaper than Zoom. I own my data. I can present a lot easier with this than I can with Zoom. And she likes that. She looks at the rewards almost like airline miles, or credit card points, or Panera or Starbucks or whatever. She gets these rewards that she can use to pay for things. Now, if we do start trading and if we get aggressive and the world comes in and there's a ton of revenue, I'll have to call my mom and say, hey, instead of buying your meeting software with your rewards this month, we'll buy you a Mercedes, and again, that might never happen, but I'll have that conversation with her if it does. And I'm sure she'll be excited about it. So.
Yeah, no, I'm really excited when you fully understand everything about Rlink. And when I want to do research like about Bitcoin 2019 or other projects, I'm really deep down and really take my time to understand fully. And with Rlink, you need to give it some hours maybe, but
Sure.
it's I think that your future self will thank you. And also, is there any universities or partnerships that in the pipe, so to say?
We're working on adding education onto this Rally blockchain as well. So Rlink is it's a service that's on the Rally blockchain. There will end up being many services and products on the Rally blockchain. One of the next ones that we're working on, there's about 7 universities to start that we're working on utilizing our blockchain and being able to have students take courses and earn cryptocurrency when they pass the course. And eventually, we want students to be able to use cryptocurrency to pay for their tuition, for their course. That's exciting for me because there's 7 universities we're working on to start. There's another 75 to 100 that we're kind of looking at as phase 2. Phase 3, we have over 1,500 universities all over the world. And so if we can get this working, the ability of students all over the world to utilize cryptocurrency and to earn rewards in cryptocurrency just for passing their classes, I think that's next level stuff. And I think that's the type of behavior you can create. I think I remembered, back in the day in elementary school and stuff, if you read a certain amount of books, you'd get like a pizza party or something. And I didn't like to read that much, but I can tell you, I read a lot that week and that month so I could get the pizza party. And a lot of my friends did as well. So we had a lot of pizza parties going on. And it's like, man, as a student, if I could earn for learning, I'd probably want to learn more. I'd be more excited to learn. And I think, that's something that we're working on. And again, there's still a few T's to cross and I's to dot. But yeah, I mean, if all goes well, I think we're going to end up with some accredited university courses that are going to be available on this Rally blockchain and using this Rlink platform to take those courses.
Sounds great. Is it anything the new administration about the new government is going into yesterday? Went into Trump was Washington and did all the ceremonies and everything. Is that good timing as well with the new vibe, new energy about crypto space and all around this
Well,
space
yeah,
at the moment?
I think obviously, the new administration and their view of blockchain and cryptocurrency is very different than the former administration in the United States. I do think obviously the United States, in a lot of ways, when it comes to fintech, when it comes to banking, they do lead a lot of the Western world, and potentially even some of the Eastern world has to kind of follow the lead for whatever reason. The amount of, I guess, the size of the U.S. economy does sway a lot of different countries around the world. And right now, the administration is putting things in place that are very good for projects like ours. The blockchain world, the cryptocurrency world, the U.S. is looking to put together a strategic digital asset reserve, basically, where they will hold things like Bitcoin. And I think, if all goes well, I think on the 5th of February, this platform, our Grow blockchain, the agricultural blockchain, the health and wellness blockchain, we're launching a partnership with the Make America Healthy Again administration. RFK Jr., Dale Bigtree. They've got the Department of Health and Human Services. There's about 80,000 employees. And so we're working through that. There's still some more T's to cross and I's to dot, but the ideal scenario is we launch that around February, I think 6th in Fort Lauderdale in Florida. I think the Make America Healthy Again team will have several folks there. And they're very excited about blockchain. They're very excited about security and the security that blockchain technology offers, and the ability to allow folks to have full transparency in that department. And I do believe if that goes well, that we will have a good opportunity with the entire administration and be able to work through the executive branch, offer more security, more transparency for the American people, but also for the world. Imagine being able to see where the United States is putting funding, where the United States is working in health and wellness, and maybe, you know, countries like Greece where you're playing professional soccer, or Sweden, you know, your home country can look and go, hey, let's look at our investments and see if we could align with some of the other Western countries in the world. And so certainly amazing opportunities with this new administration and the new look on blockchain and cryptocurrency. I think it's getting better and better every day. And I do think the United States as a country will be a major leader in blockchain and cryptocurrency. And I think projects like this that have real use, that allow people to save money, own their own data, get crypto rewards for using the platform, I think that's going to be kind of the next phase of blockchain, is bringing the rest of the world into blockchain tech and making it real easy for them to understand and start utilizing blockchain.
It's a big shift coming here, and even I want to go to the States now and play MLS, and also focus on other stuff, crypto and the business side. So I think many people will go to the States now, especially when they regulate it during probably some weeks, some months maybe, but it
Sure.
will be faster than the old administration.
Agreed.
What's your vision for this year? Like, what do you think will happen with next year? Maybe we'll talk again.
Yeah. I think, you know, for me, you know, I don't have a crystal ball. You know, I always tell people I can't see into the future necessarily, but there's things we can control. You know, people like you and I working together to add more users onto this platform, we can control that. And I believe a lot of people are going to be working very hard over the next 60, 90, 120 days to add a lot of users onto this platform. And if we can do that, I do believe this will be one of the best years financially I've ever had. And I've had some big years. You know, my last company we started generated a little over $10 billion in tax credit revenue for clients, over $2 billion in receivables. And it's out of my old hometown. I have a house still outside of Wichita, Kansas. That's where that company started out of. And then I've got a lake house a few hours south in Oklahoma, but I'm in Puerto Rico most of the year. So I'm here in Dorado Beach in Puerto Rico. And a lot of that was because of the success a lot of our companies have had. And I truly believe, and again, I don't have a crystal ball, but in my heart of hearts, I truly believe this will be the best year I've ever had financially, and my family has ever had financially by quite a ways. And I've had some really big years financially. So again, I might be wrong, but I think people that are positioning themselves, and I'm just a community member, just like you, my node one of my nodes will generate the exact same amount of tokens as one of your nodes. And I love that. I think, you know, when you look at a lot of entrepreneurs, if I invest in a project with Elon Musk or Mark Zuckerberg or Jeff Bezos, you know, they're going to be the lion's share. They're going to be up top, and maybe I get a little piece of the action. Here, it's like, we're all in this together. Everybody wins or nobody wins. And so I feel like this is the year really to dig in on the blockchain and position yourself in this transition from what I call Web 2 to Web 3. And a lot of people around the world are calling that transition from Web 2 to Web 3. And I truly believe over the next several years, there's going to be very few companies that operate in Web 2. I think almost every industry, every major company is going to have to be a Web 3 company, or they're not going to be able to stay in business.
100%. Are you doing any marketing? I heard you talked about the one who's calling for Zoom to sell Zoom, or maybe gonna start sell Rlink as well.
We haven't started that yet. We're still working on our AI chat bots, our AI customer service, and our real human customer service, just to make sure we can handle a lot of clients coming on board. We do have one of the biggest, well, the largest vendor for Zoom in the world, Keen Tech, and their connections, their teams have about 22,000 sales reps through their organization. And they sell more Zoom than anyone else on planet Earth. They've been the #1 Zoom vendor since 2019. Obviously, through the pandemic, they brought Zoom millions of clients. And now they do want to really push Rlink and kind of make it their exclusive first option, to where 22,000 sales reps, when they talk to a small or medium-sized business that needs video conferencing, all those sales reps are going to say, hey, we recommend Rlink because you have your data, you own your data. It's not being shared with some AI or some country, that's going to monetize it. You have all the bells and whistles to present, and then you're saving a ton of money. It's cheaper for you versus Zoom's options. And so, when we're, I think, ready to scale at that level, which I don't think it'll be much longer. I think within the next couple months, we can kind of give them the go ahead, and they'll start moving that on the B2B side. We'll go word of mouth, obviously, to start, but we do have the ability to go into, Facebook, Google ads. We'll approve a lot of advertising and allow the network, people like you and me, if we want to, grab one of those ads, throw it onto Facebook, and we can generate our own leads through things like that. And so I think that the company's going to have a ton of options for word of mouth and for aggressive marketing, whether it's through, the internet, radio, television. I think we'll end up hitting all the different mediums that are available to advertise. But again, we've kind of kept it a little slower just to make sure we can handle the growth. The last thing we want is people to have a bad experience. And so we want to make sure that our customer service is there and ready to handle the influx of new clients. And once we get to that point, I think it's going to be a massive influx of clients for Rlink globally, which is very exciting.
And now I will not be able to sleep for some days. Like it's the same with Bitcoin 2019 in the summer there. It was like 5-6 days. It's like I was grasping and like I need to buy more.
Sure.
And I get the same feeling. This is the second time I get this feeling, actually. Of course, everything can happen. Bitcoin is Bitcoin. I would not say that Bitcoin is Bitcoin, but still my intuition of these 6 years in this industry is I have a great feeling. And of course, I put my name on it and everything can happen, but still I'm willing to talk about it very loudly now. And with big confidence compared to other stuff I've heard about during the years. So no, it's a great opportunity and also great to be alive and to get this information in time. And you guys who are listening to this at the moment, you should thank yourself, and your future self will probably thank you a lot. Also, if you take action as well, you can't just take the information, you need to act as well, like Tony and Darin are talking about a lot. So that's also you need to do that also. But have you anything you want to end this great call with before we say bye for this time?
Yeah, I mean, I think what you just kind of shared is that need to take action. One of my main mentors in business always said that to create wealth, to become wealthy, and be able to have control of your financial future and have full financial independence, 3 things need to happen. Number 1, you need to be at the right place at the right time. And I think, all of our lives, there's definitely times we were at the right place at the right time. We could have bought Bitcoin earlier, right? Like anybody that's watching this could have bought Bitcoin earlier. Just a few months earlier, you'd be better off than buying it today, probably. But you can still buy it today, and maybe it keeps going up. I heard about Bitcoin in 2010 and read the white paper for the first time. It was under $1. I didn't buy my first Bitcoin until 2013 at about $250 later in 2013. And so, again, that was great. It's early, but I wish I would have bought it in 2010. And so you have to be at the right place at the right time. But number 2, You have to realize you're at the right place at the right time. So that's kind of what happened to me. And I think all of us, most of our lives is, we look back and go, man, I could have bought stock in Google, or I could have bought Bitcoin earlier, or I could have invested in Tesla, earlier. There's so many opportunities. I could have bought that real estate. So you have to be at the right place at the right time. You have to realize that you're there. And then probably the most important thing is you have to take massive and immediate action. You have to do something about it. So I think what you shared was a great note to end on. If you're interested in what we're doing, try our platform. Whoever invited you to watch the video, if you're watching the YouTube, click the links, whatever you need to do. Make sure you subscribe, but learn more about it. Don't just go, I saw this. That's what I did with Bitcoin in 2010. I was like, this is cool. Limited supply, decentralized, proof of work. What a cool concept. And then I moved on with my life. What I wish I would have done is gone, let me learn a little more about this. Let me look a little deeper into this. And so all I would say is, hey, the first action you need to take, learn more. Just take time to learn more. And once you do, maybe you'll be like us and go, hey, I want to be a part of what you guys are doing. And if you do make that decision, obviously, I want to be one of the first to welcome you to the R-Link and Rally blockchain family.
Yeah, sounds perfect to end there. Thank you again, Tony, and probably we will see each other again in real life, and or we will do an R-Link meeting. But
for sure,
I will definitely come to the States in the near future. That's my plan.
Let me know. I do make it back. I'll be in Florida the 5th. I think I've got to come to Switzerland after that. I've got to find out. But if I do, I'll let you know. If I'm anywhere near Greece, I'll try and stop by and see if I can catch a game.
Perfect. Thank you again, Tony.
All right, brother. Take care.
I hope you enjoyed that call with Tony as much that I did. And I know it's lots of information, and sometimes you need to watch it again and again and again, and to fully understand R-Link. But it's also pretty basic. It's like a Zoom, but better, cheaper, and more secure than Zoom. So in one way, it's pretty simple to understand when he's talking, and sometimes it's pretty hard to understand, like with the revenue and with all the side pressure, like with all the revenues gonna buy up the token on the market and stuff like that. Maybe it's hard to grasp, but take your time to listen to the next call. They're having calls almost every week, Darin and Tony, and yeah, I have a great feeling, like I said in the interview, and hopefully we can watch this video again. That's why I'm putting this out in the ether, on the internet, to watch maybe in 1 year, 2 years, if it's gonna get this high success that I believe, and also Tony, of course. And it's gonna be fun to watch that again, to follow the journey live when it's not like 100% yet, or the price is high up, or the whole world knows about it. But like this YouTuber, J15 Da Vinci, I think it's called, he was talking about Bitcoin on $1. He said just buy some if you have some money to spare. And if you can't buy a full node, I would suggest to buy some on the open market on Uniswap, using a decentralized exchange. But if you have the money to invest in a node, I think that will produce eggs, like Tony was saying, eggs to you every day for many years to come. So yeah, if you enjoyed it, hit the like and subscribe if you want more content like this. And I also gonna keep on doing these highlights with the Grow and Galvan, R-Link and Rally. The Revo rideshare also. So just if you connect or you have notes, just follow this account, and I will update for more content during the year, and also getting the highlights out, like to short it down, because I know people don't have time to watch full interviews. So yeah, and I love to see everything and get the highlights to you so you can save some time. Yeah, see you soon again in the next video. Bye bye.